Can we talk about why some English learners can't speak English even though they have studied it for a long time? So actually, there are a couple of reasons I prepared for today's lesson. So can I go first, or do you have any ideas?
You go first.
Okay, so many people can't continue studying English for a long period of time. This is my first reason. So I think this is because they don't know how to study English effectively and how long it takes to be able to speak English. First and foremost, I think people should learn 3 critical components for English studies, which are grammar, pronunciation, and basic vocab. I always talk about this, about these 3 are very important. And I think it takes 2 or 3 months to learn grammar, 1 or 2 months to learn pronunciation, and 1 or 2 months to learn vocab. Knowing these things makes it easier to continue learning. Otherwise, they just do whatever they want and stop learning because they don't know what to do.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what my point would be on top of that. For me, like, I find that many people, like, they over focus on one thing instead of like you said, focusing on like 3 main things like grammar, vocab. What was the other thing you said? Pronunciation?
Yeah, I think so. Pronunciation.
Yeah. Like, I make the mistake of really only focusing on like vocab, or for my Russian studies, like I only focus on grammar. Well, I focused on grammar so much, I didn't practice speaking. And
Okay.
the entire point is to speak. So I think like it really is key to like focus on different aspects and speak, like speak a lot. Because even if you know words, you know grammar, when you try to speak, it all just comes out. You need to like practice speaking, I think, is like a really key one as well.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's the second reason I prepared today. So yeah, okay, so let's move on to the next one because you already mentioned it. So so many people don't actively create opportunities to speak English. So this is the second one. Nowadays, we have a wide range of tools that we can make use of. As a case in point, we have online English lessons. This is what I'm using right now. And they are effective if we use them in the right way. And the services are affordable for most people. So we should definitely use them. Yeah, that's what I think.
That's a good one too. I think we touched on this one on another video, but you made a really good point before where when you do these lessons, like you can always study grammar and vocab outside of the lessons. But when you have lessons, really focus on like the speaking aspect and the pronunciation, because that's when you're going to get the most help, I think.
Yeah, I think, our time is limited. So I think we should make use of our time. Because people can learn like grammar, basic vocab outside of a class. But if learners take like an English lesson, the teacher is there and we can ask any questions using the time. So I think, people should speak. People should try to speak in the lesson as much as possible, in my opinion.
100%. I agree. Yeah.
But, you said that some people are not motivated and they want to like use a textbook during the lesson. I think that's a good point as well. Because if they study like the teaching materials with the teacher, they can continue studying it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I think, the way of you.
Let me close my door.
Sure.
Why are you guys all barking? There's fireworks tonight. There's like fireworks going off, and he's like terrified.
Oh, okay. Fireworks. Nice.
Yeah. There's like a festival going on right now.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm gonna close the door. Close the window. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Hopefully
it's okay. It's okay. No problem at all. I like your dog.
I love my dog. He's so sweet.
Yeah, he's so sweet. Yeah, cool. Where were we?
We were on talking about grammar and textbooks in a lesson.
Yeah, textbook. Yeah, like using a textbook is not always bad for certain people, especially for beginners.
Yeah, it can definitely like guide conversation, especially if you're not at the point where you're able to free talk yet. Textbook really helps to
study. I think so too. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, so can I provide another point here? Let's see. Some people might say, I don't know when I should start online English lesson service. In my opinion, people should start using the service after studying the 3 components I mentioned earlier: grammar, pronunciation, pronunciation, and the basic vocab. Yeah, because these 3 are top priorities, in my opinion. Learning a language is a long journey, and we have to study them someday either way. So we should do them if we want to study English more efficiently.
That's good. That's a good one. Yeah, and for me, like the first thing I study like a lot is actually the alphabet, because some languages have different types of alphabet, like Cyrillic and Japanese. You guys have a whole kanji, and you guys have a lot of things going on there. Yeah, I think like depending on which language, especially like English too, like study the alphabet, how different letters make different sounds, know your vowels, because as long as you know like your vowels, consonants, how they sound in words, phonics really helps with that. Like you can like YouTube like phonic lessons, and that'll really help improve like reading. Yeah, I always start with that, and then definitely basic readings and stuff. And then once you got the basics, then you can probably start.
Yeah, I think that's good. Some people start an online English lesson all of a sudden, even though they haven't studied like basic stuff. I think that's not good because they just feel intimidated by taking a lesson. They're like, the teacher speaks English all the time and I don't understand anything. This kind of thing happens if they don't study like basic things. So I think that's not good.
No, definitely have the basics.
And you mentioned like phonics, right? I think phonics is very important, but for some reason, Japanese people don't study phonics. Usually, we just focus on like grammar, reading, and basic vocab, especially in junior high and high school. And we don't study like pronunciation, phonics. I don't think that's good because in conversation, we definitely use like phonics, right?
Yeah, like, well, in order to read like really, really well in schools, like in Canada, like kindergartens, especially in like the private schools, more so private schools, they'll have like a whole like 50 flashcard deck of just different phonics, because in English there's many different ways on how to say O. Like it can be just a letter O, it can be OA, like there's many different ways to like spell things. So it's really good to have phonics and like examples of different types of words, because they make the same sounds but they're spelled different. So I definitely recommend phonics. It'll help so much with reading and speaking too.
Yeah, right. I think so too. I totally agree with you. Phonics is so important. So if people watching this video haven't like studied phonics, I really recommend like they study phonics.
100%.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you. So let's move on to the third one. Okay, I think many people stop studying because sometimes they are not in the mood. I think that is not good. I feel like most people decide what they're going to study that day, but I think it's important to set a goal and make a schedule because people feel more motivated if they have a specific goal. Once you decide what you're going to do, all you have to do is complete the tasks.
Yeah, tasks really help it. Like a task list really helps organize your thoughts as well. Another way is even if you have a task list, if you're like super, super unmotivated to like study, what you can do is just like choose something you really like. Like, do you like watching movies? Do you like listening to music, reading books? And then do that in your target language. Like if I don't want to study grammar today and it's on my list, instead of doing nothing and I feel like watching anime, I'm going to watch anime in Spanish, just like if you're super unmotivated, just choose something you like, listening to music, something, and then just incorporate your language into it. Yeah, it's good. Even going to the gym, like I have flashcards on my phone. I'll do a couple sets. I'll do some push-ups or whatever. And then I'll go through some flashcards on my phone. And that's my rest time. And then I'll go back into it. I'll do some flashcards and then while my rest, and then I go back into it. You can just incorporate it into your life if you don't want to just sit down.
Yeah, enjoying studying is also important because if they are boring, I think they would give up. So
100%,
yeah, you mentioned like anime movies. So if people use them, they can have fun and they can continue studying. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
Even though but in my opinion, I think they shouldn't be like the main method of studying because movies are very difficult.
Very difficult, 100%. Yeah, it's hard. But what you can get out of movies is like keywords. Words that repeat a lot. Those are the words you write down. Don't try to understand everything because if you're just learning, it's not going to happen. But every time you hear the same word, like more than 5-10 times, just write it down.
Constant exposure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, if you hear the same sound over and over, you get used to them. You will figure it out later.
Yep.
Like connecting the dots.
Exactly. Connecting the dots. I would say task list first. And then if you're still unmotivated from your task list, then do what I mentioned.
Yeah. I think doing something is better than nothing. Some people just don't do anything that day. So that's not good. So at least you can do something for a change, like anime, movies, anything.
This is motivating myself. I feel like I should go study. That's so funny.
Looks like we are about out of time, but thank you so much for
well, that was a good topic.
Today.
That was fun. And I will chat with you again, and I will send you the link if I get it, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Have a
Thank you
good
so
one.
much.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you. 現在、英語コーチング、英語ティーチングの生徒さんを募集しています。英語力が伸び悩んでいる、TOEIC の点数が頭打ちしている、継続することが難しい。このような方は無料カウンセリングへどうぞ。下の概要欄のリンクから申し込むことができます。ぜひ無料カウンセリングでお会いしましょう。